Brainstorm International, and in this video I'm going to show you how to access or log into your WordPress website and how to make changes to some content and how to set up a blog post. So we're going to start by logging into your site. So we're going to go to your domain name. In this particular instance, my sample site is 3minutescripts.com, and we're going to type in /WP-admin. And then we're going to hit enter, and we're going to log into our site and using your username and password assigned to you. Please do not change your username and password because it is set to be strong, and you'll need a strong password using WordPress. So once you're logged in, you will see your dashboard. That's this window here. Over on the left-hand side, you will see a list of tabs. Please do not change any of the appearance, plugins, settings, any of those kind of things. You're primarily going to be using posts, media, and pages. Pages are what it sounds like. They're your web pages. Posts are blog posts. Media is where all of your graphics are that are on your website. So all of these graphics are connected in some way on this particular website. So if you need to upload a graphic, you can upload an image or a graphic or a PDF into your library and then apply it wherever you need to on your site. So we're going to start with pages, and we're going to go to sample page. So we go to pages. These are the current pages that are created. If we had to create a new one, we would say add page, but we are going to just click edit on this page here. We're going to click edit again to get into the DV theme. And this is the page, its layout on the website. So WordPress uses, or this particular theme uses, a what you see is what you get, or WYSIWYG design, which means when you change things or you move things around, you are changing how they're going to look on when it's published. So we're going to just change some content here. So this paragraph right here, we are going to just add some additional content to it. So we're just going to copy that. If you see this is your menu for content. It looks a lot like Word or any other word processing setup. So all of these functionalities should be pretty familiar with you if you've done anything on the computer. So we're just going to go down one, and we're going to paste this content. And I want to format this content a little bit. So I'm going to create a heading. So I'm going to go to paragraph here, and these are all the different sizes of your headline. Headline 1 should be the only one up at the very top, and you should only have it one time. Headline 2, headline 3, headline 4, headline 5 can all be assigned different design features, but we're just going to select whatever's there. And so that's a headline 2. And then if we wanted to hyperlink this content to a website, we would just highlight it, and we would go to link, and then we would just create or go copy the URL, paste it, and then we would have a hyperlink to a different site. We're not going to do that right now. So like I said, this operates pretty much like any other. When you're done, you go to the little checkbox and click check. That saves it. You're going to see a purple function box here, or circle. Click on that, and you're going to save it again. The first save saved the little box section. The second one saves it on the page. So we're going to scroll down, and if we want to change a graphic, then we just go over here and we use this little gear. We click on the gear, and that brings up that photo. And when we click on it, it brings up our gallery. We would want to select an image or create an image that is the same dimensions as the one that we are replacing. Otherwise, it's going to mess up the design of our site. So in this particular one, this image is 800 by 1361. So we want to create an image, if we want to replace this, that is exactly 800 by 1361 in order to replace that. So we would use Canva or Photoshop or any kind of program in order to create a graphic that would replace that. And then once we are ready to replace it, we click it, we go to upload, we go to select file, we find the file on our computer, wherever it may be. I'm not choosing anything right now. And then we'd click open. And once we do that, then it would show up in our gallery. And then we would click that photo, copy the title, paste the title also in the alt text. This is important for various reasons, for SEO, but also for ADA, for Disability Act. Click upload, click save. It's saved, click save again. Lots of saving. It will prompt you if you do something like if I delete this image and then I just go away. So let's say I made a mistake and I didn't want to delete that image. Before I press save, I just leave that page and it will prompt me and say, hey, you made a change that you didn't save. Do you want to save that change or do you want to discard it and exit? So if you made a mistake, then you'd want to say, I want to discard that change and exit. If it wasn't a mistake, you'd want to save it before you exit. So that is how you make changes to a current page. Now let's talk about a blog post. Okay, so blog post will show up here and they'll show you the title, who wrote it, the category, any tags and things like that. So we're going to create a new post. We're going to title this, the title is something. And we're going to go over here and we're going to select a category, so many topic, or we can create a new one, nothing to say. And we're going to say, add that category. And then up here, we're going to set a featured image. Now the featured image is important because it's going to follow that blog post around wherever it's published so that it has a representative image. So we're going to say set image. And if the image is not here in our gallery, then we have to create one. So in this instant, we are going to create one. So it's important, especially on a website, that you optimize your photos. So I'm going to pull over this graphic here. This was the graphic we were looking at. Okay, this graphic is straight out of a library, and this image size is 2800 pixels by 1501 pixels, and it's 300 dots per inch. That's called a high resolution image. That image is 12 megs. We do not want to put a 12 meg image on our website. We want a fraction of that to be on our website because it's going to dictate how fast your website is, how fast that page loads, and if you had more than one 12 meg image on your website, it would be very, very slow. So we want to reduce this or optimize this image for our website. Keep in mind that most website browsing now is done by phones. So a phone is a very small screen, but we don't want to limit it to a mobile screen. So we're going to kind of hit a happy medium for our blog post. And I usually settle on 1080 pixels. Pixels is what makes up the pictures. And then whatever the height is on that image. Sometimes I want all my images to be exactly the same size. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. So in this particular instance, it doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that my width is 1080 pixels. And the resolution doesn't really matter because I've changed the whole size of it, so I can do it that way. And then I'll go back and do 1080, and it's the same thing. So either way, this image is 1080 pixels. Okay, now I want to export this out as a JPEG. There are three different types of files here. PNG and JPEG JPG are the two most familiar with images. So JPEG is going to be smaller. That's 193 kilobytes, whereas a PNG file is 872 kilobytes. We want to go with the smaller of the two. Now, if this was like a logo, then we would want to use the PNG setting, because if the background is transparent, we would want to apply that when it's moved over so that it doesn't have a white box around the image. But in this instance, our image is boxed anyway. So we're going to export that. We're going to leave it as 6, as a quality of 6. You can scale this however you want. But I'm looking more at how big the file is, and at 193, that's not a big file. And then I export it. It's going to export wherever I want it to. Marketing, website tutorials, there, boom, done. Whoops, it's named the same thing. So we're going to rename it Faith. And I'm going to call it Web Ready. So that way I know that this version is different than that one. So if I had the other picture named Faith high res, then I would know that this one is Web Ready. And I'm going to save it. All right, so we're done with that. Move that out of the way. And now I'm going to import that graphic into my website. Again, that's the title. I'm going to copy the title. I'm going to paste the title into my alt text. Those two should match. And I set that as my featured image. Now, so I have my featured image. I have my category that I want that image to be. And I'm going to click Use Divi to design this. So, reload. And I just want my content to be all the way across. I can format my content from my article to be whatever I want. 2 column, 4 columns, I can set so I have total control over the design functions of my blog post. So I'm doing it really simple. I just want the content to go all the way across, and I just need regular text. So it opens up that familiar text box. I go over, I get my content. Now, it's best if your content does not have a lot of formatting. Formatting would be all of this that you may have applied in a Word document or something like that, whereas you'd want all your formatting to happen over here instead. So I did that. My content was just text, and then once I got it over here, then I could format it. I could do whatever I wanted to it. Let's say I wanted this to be a quote. So I could highlight that content, and then I find my quote marks, quote, 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 right there. And what it does is it just kind of separates it apart. I can make it italics. I can make it a little larger. Whatever I want to do in order to help it stand out. So that's one content block. And I want to, this blue space, I want to reduce that so that it's closer to my image and I don't have such a long space. So there's that content block. If I wanted to add additional content to this block, then I could click the little gear and it opens up that same block. Or I can go down here and I can click the little plus, and it will give me the ability to set up another formatted text block or insert row that if I wanted to put 2 columns or 3 columns, or if I wanted to have bullet points or whatever I wanted to do as far as the orientation, I could and continue this article on down the page. But for convenience or for simplicity, I just click the 1. These are all the feature functionality that you can do in this program. That's why I use it, because it has so much functionality without having to do third-party plugins and so forth. So if I wanted to do more text, I could. If I wanted to do a toggle, if I wanted to do a video slider, if I wanted to do a testimonial, all these kind of things are built-in functionality within this program. And you can, play with these if you want to on a blog post and just to kind of see what each one of them does. Or you can keep it simple. It's up to you. Okay, so again, we've got our title, our article, category, everything's done. Now I'm going to click publish. Now I can save that as a draft and it will not show up, but I want to go ahead and publish it, and then I can go on to my next one. If I wanted to schedule them, like let's say today I wanted to do 15 articles and have them ready to publish whenever, I could actually set it up. I go to my blog posts, and then over here I can set the date of when I want that to publish. So if I wanted to publish one a week, then I could set the date for this one to publish on the 18th and the 25th and so forth. You could schedule, a whole year's worth if you wanted to of your blog post, and then they would just publish once a week onto your site, and you'd be done. So that is how you create a blog post, and that is how you edit content using the Divi theme and WordPress.